Pride of Higara. This is Captain Soban of the fleet, Farron Shah. Looks like you could use a hand. Attention all Sobani, pick your targets and engage.
Hello everyone, this is Captain Soban. Welcome aboard to Starship Normal Prize for another episode of Homeworld COMplex 9.1. Shut up, Resource Collector. We'll get to you later. Homeworld COMplex 9.1 Ship Showcase Series. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at the production vessels, the platforms, and the non-combat ships that you can build in this mod. So, the first thing we want to take a look at is the Scavenger, which is right here. Now, the Scavenger is kind of like your main center of harvesting operations. It can hold, you can build your resource collectors and mobile refineries and whatnot on it, your mining platforms, which is this guy right here, which we'll be talking more about later. You can also build your harvest control module, which allows the harvesters within its radius to have a larger capacity, harvest faster, unload faster. It just speeds up your resource operations. You can also have a fusion control module on him, which allows him to generate resources automatically by harvesting the extra power from the engines that isn't being used. And they convert that into resources, which is pretty cool. And then you have your anti-radiation field, which helps drastically reduce the amount of damage you would take in a nebula or a dust cloud. So that's awesome. And then you can also build basic defenses on them. You can build mining missiles, which allows you to, I don't think we have any on this map that I'm using, but it allows you to destroy large asteroids and break them into smaller asteroids so your harvesters can collect it. Basic laser guns for some fighter defense, and then you can build a whole bunch of resource supplies. I normally like to have one or two scavengers whenever I play this mod. One of them for operating the main harvesting operations, another one just dedicated to increasing your resource capacity so that you can store more resources, because in this mod, if you guys don't know, you're limited to the amount of resources you can store. If you go above that capacity, then those resources are just lost. They can be harvested and whatnot, but you just won't be able to use them. They'll just be lost instantly. So yeah, that is the Scavenger. Let's go ahead and check out the next one, which is the light carrier, which I believe it's one of these carriers. Copy. Are you the light carrier? I think you're the normal carrier. Copy. You're the battle. Oh, you're the light. I thought you were the battle carrier. But anyways, the light carrier allows you to build fighters and corvettes. It can build platforms as well, your harvesting capability and whatnot, and you have your modules and everything. The main difference, I think, between the light carrier and the other carriers is the fact that he can't build frigates. He's also cheaper. 500 RUs cheaper. It does come with some anti-frigate and corvette fusion missiles, though. Confirmed. So it can defend itself a lot better than a normal carrier. So that's pretty cool. But he's basically the cheaper version of the normal carrier, which the normal carrier is over here, which can build your fighters, corvettes, frigates, all your modules, whatnot. Has some basic defenses. Ready. Which I did realize that, oh, this one has basic defenses. Never mind. But you can't build a power generator on a light carrier. Okay, so it can't produce power for your fleet. So that's interesting. But yeah, this is your normal Caygr carrier. Don't really need to explain too much about it because it's the same carrier from the actual Homeworld 2. Only difference is you can build power plants on it, put some defenses on it. And yeah, that's about it. Reporting. Now, the other one we have is the battle carrier, which you can only build from the shipyard. Battle carrier is obviously a lot more expensive than the other carriers, but it comes with kinetic cannon turrets, fusion missile launchers for anti-frigate and capital ships. It can only build fighters and corvettes, so it can't build frigates. Your normal carrier is the only one that can actually build your frigates. It can only build patcher drones. It can't build actual, like it can't have a drone module on it, but it can build patcher drones, which we'll be going through later on and discussing what those are. But you can also have a concussion cannon, which is anti-corvette and frigate. I'm going to call this an anti-frigate weapon because it does a decent amount of damage. So yeah, it has that little missile launcher there on top. So this is a carrier that can build fighters and corvettes and defend itself against fighters, corvettes, and frigates from its base defenses. So not bad. More expensive. I believe it requires more officers than a normal carrier.
Acknowledged.
Nope, it's the same amount of officers and same amount of crew, surprisingly. I would think they would bump that up to like 40 or something, so they're not exactly the same. I mean, the differences between the normal carrier and the battle carrier is the battle carrier is for combat, the normal carrier is for production. So there's an argument to be said about that. It looks like we actually went through all of our did we go through all of our Homeworld stuff? I don't think so. Okay, there we go. Now we're back to normal. So after the battle carrier, of course, we have our shipyard, which I don't really need to explain too much about it. The shipyard is the largest production vessel in the game. Allows you to build every single ship, fighters, corvettes, frigates, capital ships, and battle cruisers. You can also build any production ship from the shipyard as well as any platform, basically anything you want. So your shipyard is definitely important. You can build a couple power generators on the shipyard, but its main purpose is to give you the ability to build your battle cruisers so that you can have massive firepower to fight the enemy. It's also another ship that can produce things too, so there's also that. But yeah, its main purpose is to give you the ability to build your battle cruisers. And then last for the production ship would technically be the mothership, and then we'll move on to the battle fortress. So the mothership obviously in this mod is the most important ship. You lose your mothership, you lose the game. It doesn't matter how many shipyards you have, it doesn't matter how many powerful things you have. We do have some things moving in. And as you go through the technology tree and whatnot, you'll be able to put weapons on your mothership, like dual kinetic cannons, extra armor, so your mothership can last a lot longer. But yeah, but your mothership's primary purpose is the being the one thing that you need to defend or to destroy in order to beat the mission. But you can build everything except for the battlecruiser class ships.
Torpedo inbound. Prepare for impact. Roger.
So, the next thing is our battle fortress. So, once you get to a certain rank, which I believe is, I need to check out real quick, Admiral, you can build a massive battle fortress that will have a massive amount of weapons, which I haven't actually been able to build because I ran out of money and kind of forgot about it. But it has, this one has kinetic cannons, which gives it anti-frigate capability, laser pulse cannons, which gives it anti-destroyer capability, perforation pod launchers, which again are anti-frigate, anti-destroyer, and concussion cannons, which are, I guess, anti-destroyer, whatnot. Now, this one isn't quite as powerful as the, we're probably gonna lose that carrier. Oh well. This one isn't quite as powerful as the Hygaran version. Because the Hygarans come with mines, heavy ion cannons, nuclear missile launchers. So this one is a lot less powerful than those ones, which I mean, I guess, I get it, but maybe they just didn't have enough time to implement all the stuff they wanted to put on the command fortress. Or it might be just more of an area to hold instead of defend. Who knows? I'm not entirely sure. But the command fortress is definitely your most powerful defensive weapon. And if you want to like defend somewhere like heavily, this is definitely something you lose. It is very expensive. I believe this one is 11,000 are used to build, and the defenses are like 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. there are a lot of RUs to invest in, but if you can get this thing fully operational, it can defend an area against a large assault. Like this assault group coming in, if once this thing gets all of its subsystems built, it will be able to handle it, no problem. Hey, that thing actually did survive. Okay, the light carrier also repairs itself really, really quickly. Like, oh wait, never mind. It's got the, nope, never mind. It's just repairing on its own. That's good to know. Okay. So that is all the production level vessels. The next we're going to talk about are the platforms. And the first one we're going to talk about is the Patcher drone, which should be here because I sent all the drones over here. There it is. Now, the Patcher drone is basically, all it does is repair your vessels. Oh, okay, so that's why this thing's going up so quickly, because it is actually autonomously repairing it, I think. Let me read the description real quick. Repair support drone can autonomously repair damaged ships, up to 18 units. So, is that... It's not a radius. Okay. Because it works like a harvester. You tell it to repair a ship and then it'll start repairing it. So that's cool. So yeah, if you don't want to use your harvesters to repair things, build Patcher drones and then they'll go around and start repairing things. And then next we have our gun platform, which is actually from Homeworld 2.
Acknowledged.
I don't think they did anything special with this. 2 long-range fletchet cannons and an anti-missile system. Okay, so you can put an anti-missile system, which makes it even more effective against fighters, corvettes. But if you want to defend an area, like maybe a harvesting area against fighters and corvettes, this would be the thing you would use. It's very cheap, I believe, and yeah. In Homeworld Cataclysm, all your platforms can move more than once. They're not like in Homeworld 2 where you can only move your units once because I don't know why Homeworld 2 did that, because they act like probes. But I do like Cataclysm's thing, because that means, like, let's say we built like 6 defense drones to defend here, we run out of resources, and then we move up to this one. Well, instead of destroying all those things because we no longer need it and rebuilding them, we just move them up to the next defense area. Oh hey, they built another battle arc. Okay, so we need to do this quickly.
Roger.
You, get up here.
Initiating hyperspace jump.
Defend us. So next would be... I need my shipyard. The Lance platform. Now this is a new one in this mod.
Confirmed.
The Lance platform has 2 long-range lances. This makes it good against corvettes and frigates. I would say this one would be good against corvettes, this one would be good against fighters. And maybe in large groups, these ones would be good against frigates. But I think the frigates would do too much damage for them. But they have 2 little lance turrets on the side. And again, same thing with the gun platform. This is just used to defend strategic areas.
Copy. Attack coordinates locked in.
Alright, and you take care of those once everything gets in range.
Under attack.
Okay.
Roger.
And then next would be
Reporting.
the heavy missile platform. Now, in the original Homeworld 2, you had gun platform and missile platform. Guns were good against fighters, missiles were good against corvettes, and that was about it. The heavy missile platform has been upgraded, so it has long-range fusion missiles, making it great against frigates and even destroyer-class vessels. That's about it. The missiles are also really slow, so they're not good against anything else. So if you're defending something, you use guns against fighters, lancers against corvettes and frigates, and heavy missiles against frigates and capital ships. You won't be using any of these against like battle cruisers or stuff like that. They won't do enough damage and they won't survive.
Ship under attack.
It looks like this thing is... Yay! It's flickering at the enemy.
Ready.
He's still building the rest of his stuff, so there's a pretty good chance this thing's actually not going to survive. But yeah, let's continue going through. next would be the Hyperspace Gate, which if any of you guys ever played in Homeworld 2, you deploy this gate and then you find somewhere else that you want to make a hyperspace lane for, deploy the gate there, link the gates together, and then you can create your own hyperspace link that won't cost your fleet anything to do a long jump or short jump. It's wherever you want to put them.
No problem.
But that's about it. These guys don't have any defenses or anything. They just allow you to move your ships in to another hyperspace gate completely free and quickly too, I believe. It's like almost instant. Where when you hyperspace normally, it costs money and it takes about a minute to get through hyperspace, and wherever you want to put them, that's where they'll end up at.
Reporting.
You guys, help out, please.
Attack vector laid in. Standing by.
Hee hee. Okay, so anyways, back to what we were doing. That is, oh wait, no, there's one more, which is the mobile gravity field generator. This is also new to the mod. So let me see if I can find it. That's the heavy missile, Patcher, Lancer. There it is. So this is the mobile gravity field generator, and I believe all this does is create a hyperspace inhibitor, so a set little area that this thing is protecting won't be able to actually hyperspace in. So like, let's say you want to defend this area from like enemy capital ships that can hyperspace, you would put one of those over here, and then capital ships would be forced to move to that area instead of actually hyperspacing on top of you, destroying your harvesters.
Attacking capital ship.
Can you focus on the big boy? Because he keeps you launching missiles, which is going to destroy the station. But anyways, let's not focus on the battle. We're not here to watch battles. We're here to show off ships. So that is all of the non-combat ships, or the platforms. Now let's take a look at the non-combat ships. A lot of these will actually be simple. Like the first one we're going to look at is the resource collector. I don't really have to explain too much about him. You use this guy to harvest resources, which generates money, so you can build things. One thing that's different about this mod is you can also research to repair, so you can keep your guys alive using the repair ability. But you can also dock these into captured mining bases, which generate resources over time. And it's another way that you can create income in this mod. And then next we have is the normal mobile refinery, which is this guy over here. This is still the same from Homeworld 2. It's used to have harvesters dock into it so they can drop their resources off, and you get income from them doing that. Now there's also a research. Once you get the fusion missile module built on your Scavenger, you can upgrade the mobile refineries to generate monies from resources, or from fusion. Okay, and then next would be the advanced mobile refinery, which would be somewhere around here. Ah, it's over here. I forgot to move it over. The advanced mobile refinery is like two mobile refineries put together. It has a lot more docking ports than the normal mobile refinery. I believe it also generates a little bit more money from fusion, and obviously it costs a little bit more to build. But if you have like a high concentrated area that has lots of resources, these guys will probably be what you want. It also costs double the crew. So this is basically two refineries put together. So if you need an area that needs a lot of docking areas, these guys might be worth the investment. But next we have the mining container, which I showed you earlier.
Ship under attack.
I can show you in here, because I have a couple that are currently docked into the mining base. Because all the mining containers do is they dock into the mining base. My thing's being pushed back. Holy crap. But yeah, I'm actually going to quickly reload this real quick because we can't actually handle this fight. I just wanted to see if I can redo all this real quick. Alright, so yeah, that'll give us a little bit more time, and I don't have to panic so much about being attacked. But yeah, see, the mining containers are inside the mining base. What they do is as the resource collectors mine inside, the mining bases will store the resources. Once they're done, they will go to the nearest production level ship, which for us would be the Scavenger. And they'll dock into the Scavenger and they'll start unloading the resources, which will give you a small generation of resources from mining over time. Now there's researches and whatnot you can do to speed up this process, but that's kind of how they work.
Resource collector awaiting instructions.
And I believe only like carriers, shipyards, motherships, and the Scavenger are able to actually dock the mining units. I don't think the mobile refineries can actually do it. Yeah, see, here he is. Excuse me. So he has 6,000 resources stored in himself right now. And that will slowly trickle in over time as he docks into the Scavenger and unloads it. Alrighty, so that's those guys. Now next is the trade convoy. I can't show off the trade convoy because this is a 1 versus 1 map, but the way the trade convoy works is when you have an ally, you can build a couple trade convoys, and the trade convoys will I don't think they actually pull the resources out of your stockpile, but they'll generate 10% of your resources that you currently have, and see what they do is they pull out 10% of the resources that you currently have stored. So like if I had one right now, it would pull about 1,273, and then that scared me. I hit a cup on my desk. They'll take it to the other mothership, and then they'll dock into it. And then once they dock, I think both you and the ally get those resources. Like you get it back, and then he generates that resource. And then when he brings his back, then he gets his money back, and you generate whatever that resource is. So it's good. Like the trade convoy works great if you have a really high stockpile, but if you're struggling with money, then it's not going to generate much resources because it's based on how much you actually have stored. Okay, so next we have the probe, which excuse me. The probe is pretty self-explanatory. It's from Homeworld 2. You send it out. It has a one-shot movement, so you can only send it out once, and it gives you a big sensor radius of what's going on. And then next we have the proximity sensor, which again is a probe. But this probe, all it does is detect cloaked units around you. I can't remember if the proximity sensor was in the original game. I don't think it was. I know it's in Homeworld 1, but I don't remember if it's actually in Homeworld 2. I think you only have probes in Homeworld 2. And then after that, we have the sensor distortion probe, which is...
Acknowledged.
Not you. Where is the sensor distortion probe? So apparently I never built this one. So I quickly rebuilt it and I sent it over here. But the sensor distortion probe, what it does, it costs 500, so it's a little expensive for a probe, but it scrambles enemy sensors. So what it will do is all the enemies that are within this area, the enemy won't actually be able to detect until they get really, really close to them, because they won't be able to see it from sensor mode. They can only see it from being close together. Now, I don't know if the AI actually takes advantage of this, the fact that they can't see it from sensors. I don't think it does, but against players, it would probably make a difference. Now, Rattle, which is a $1,000 probe, really, really expensive. Let's see, where are you? You are a normal probe. Where is my Rattler? There you are. You're really big for a probe. But anyways, the Rattler is a remote device that can ping the mission area briefly, revealing enemy units. So This detects all hyperspace signatures within a radius, and obviously it's a one-shot movement. So it detects hyperspace signatures, and it can detect units when you ping the map with it, which costs RUs, obviously. So I would probably use this more like probably over here, or like in your important areas like resource areas or maybe heavy production areas, so that it will let you know if an enemy hyperspace signature is detected over there, so you're not caught off guard. And then last but not least, we have the Ghost, which is right here. Oh yeah, I forgot to reload it, so I have to set this back up the way it's supposed to be. Boop. Now that I kind of know how to do that properly now. But here is the Ghost probe. That kind of looks like it has like little missile launchers on it. This is a probe that can be cloaked. I believe it's cloaked infinitely.
Cloaking field online.
Nope, never mind, it's limited.
Cloak field engaged.
But it's a probe that can cloak. It says it can auto cloak, so maybe when enemies get close or get near it, it can cloak itself to protect itself. But it works just like a normal probe. It gives you a large sensor reading, but it can keep itself cloaked so that enemies can't see where they are. And that's gonna do it. That is every single ship that you can build in Homeworld COmplex 9.1. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This series was actually pretty fun, and I'm actually thinking about doing this for a point defense system since I'm still learning about that. It'll help me figure out the ships a little bit better and help me give you guys some advice for when you guys are kind of struggling with that mod. So yeah, and as Caygr comes in again, or not the Caygr, but the Sigarans come in for the second time, that's going to do it for this. Some of you guys also said that you were kind of struggling trying to get Complex 9.1 to work for you. I was checking my settings, and I don't know what kind of advice I can give you because mine just worked right out of the book or whatever. All I did was just go to the launcher, hit 9.1, launch it, game launches or mod launches, and yeah, I haven't had any issues. I also had high refresh rate working too, and I think that's just on the computer side because that's controlled from NVIDIA control panel. So that I don't really know how to help you guys with that one. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this little series. Please leave a like if you did, if you like what I do, consider subscribing, and I will check you guys out in the next video. Until then, this is Captain Soban signing out.
The Caygr have arrived. Emergency hyperspace procedures initiated. The mothership must survive.